Lila was 8 years old when her world fell apart. Her mama worked 3 jobs just to keep food on the table. Their apartment was tiny. The walls were thin. You could hear everything. Every night, Mama would count the same $5 bills over and over. Never enough. That winter was the worst. No heat, no food. Mama got sick, real sick. Lila would wrap herself in old blankets and watch her mama cough all night. She knew they were in trouble, big trouble. One morning, Mama didn't wake up. Lila shook her, called her name, nothing. She was alone, 8 years old and alone in the world. The social workers came, they talked fast, used big words, put Lila in a car, drove her to a place with other kids who looked as scared as she felt. The foster home was loud, chaotic, too many kids, not enough love. Mrs. Thompson ran the place. She wasn't mean, just tired. Always tired. She had 12 kids to feed, 12 kids to watch, 12 kids who needed more than she could give. Layla learned to stay quiet, stay out of the way. Don't ask for much, don't hope for much. That's how you survive when you got nothing. School was hard. Kids made fun of her clothes, her shoes with holes, her lunch that was just crackers. She was smart though, real smart. Teachers noticed. They tried to help. But there's only so much a teacher can do. High school came and went. Layla got good grades, real good grades. But college, that was for other kids. Kids with money, kids with families, kids with futures. She got a job at a diner, worked the night shift, served coffee to truck drivers and late-night workers. The pay was terrible, but it was something. It was survival. 20 years old and washing dishes. 20 years old and wondering if this was all there was. If Mama's dreams for her died with Mama that cold morning. Then everything changed. One rainy Thursday night. The diner was empty except for one customer, a Korean man in a nice suit. He looked tired, worried. He ordered just coffee, sat in the corner booth, didn't bother nobody. Lila was cleaning tables when she heard the crash, glass breaking, yelling. 3 men had burst through the door. They had guns. They wanted money. They wanted everything. The Korean man didn't move, just sat there calm. But Lila saw his eyes. They were watching, calculating, waiting. One of the robbers grabbed Lila, put the gun to her head, demanded the register money, all of it. She was shaking, couldn't breathe. This was it. This was how it ended. The Korean man stood up slow, real slow. He said something in Korean, then in English. His voice was soft but firm. He said he had money, lots of money, in his car. They could have it all. Just let the girl go. The robbers looked at each other. Greed won over caution. They followed him outside, still holding Lila, still with the gun to her head. What happened next was like watching a movie. The Korean man moved fast, faster than anyone should move. He took down all 3 men just like that, like it was nothing, like he'd done it 1,000 times. The police came, ambulances, questions, so many questions. The Korean man talked to the officers, gave his statement. Then he turned to Lila. His name was Jin Park. He owned businesses, lots of businesses. He was in town for meetings. Wrong place at the wrong time. Or maybe right place at the right time. He asked if she was okay, if she needed anything. A ride home, money for a doctor, anything. His eyes were kind, really kind, different from any eyes that had ever looked at her. Lila said she was fine. She always said she was fine, even when she wasn't, even when she was drowning. Jin didn't believe her. He could see it, the way she held herself, The way she looked around like she was always ready to run. He knew that look. He'd seen it before, in the mirror, a long time ago. He gave her his card, said if she ever needed anything at all, she should call. Lila took the card, figured she'd never use it. Rich people don't really mean it when they say things like that. But she kept the card, put it in her wallet. Sometimes she'd look at it, wonder what it would be like to have someone care, really care. Weeks passed. The diner closed down. The owner said it wasn't safe anymore. Layla lost her job, lost her small apartment, was back to nothing again. She stared at that card for hours, pride fighting with desperation. Desperation won. She called the number. Jin answered on the first ring, like he was waiting, like he hoped she'd call. He asked where she was, what she needed. No judgment, no questions about why she waited so long. He came to pick her up, drove her to a nice hotel, paid for a room, for food, for clothes. Said she could stay as long as she needed, until she figured things out. Layla cried that night. First time in years. Cried for Mama. Cried for the little girl who had to grow up too fast. Cried for the woman who had forgotten how to hope. Jin checked on her every day. Brought food, brought books, brought newspapers with job listings. He never made her feel small. Never made her feel like charity. One day, he brought something different, a laptop. Said she was too smart to be washing dishes, too smart to be just surviving. He wanted to teach her about business, about investing, about building something. Layla laughed. Her? Business? She barely made it through high school. But Jin was serious. He saw something in her, something she couldn't see in herself. He started teaching her. Simple things at first. How money works, how businesses grow, how to read financial statements. Layla soaked it up like a sponge. Her mind was sharp and hungry. Jin had his own story. His family came to America with nothing. His father worked in a factory, his mother cleaned houses. They sacrificed everything for him, for his education, for his future. He built his first business from nothing, a small import company. Worked 18 hours a day, saved every penny, reinvested everything, grew it into something bigger, then bigger still. Now he owned restaurants, real estate, technology companies. He was rich, really rich, but he remembered being poor, remembered being hungry, remembered being nobody. That's why he helped Layla, because he saw himself in her, the hunger, the drive, the refusal to give up, even when everything looked hopeless. Layla's first business was small, buying and selling used electronics. Jin lent her the money to start, taught her how to negotiate, how to spot opportunities, how to take calculated risks. She was good at it, really good. Within 6 months, she'd paid him back. Within a year, she was making more money than she'd ever dreamed of. But it wasn't enough. Not for Layla. She wanted more, wanted to build something bigger, something that mattered. She started a cleaning service, hired other women like her, women who needed a chance, a real chance. She paid them well, treated them with respect, gave them opportunities to grow. The business exploded. Companies wanted her services, hotels, offices, wealthy families. They trusted her team. Word spread fast. Jin watched from the sidelines, proud but not surprised. He knew she had it in her. The fire, the determination, the willingness to work harder than anyone else. 3 years later, Lila owned 5 cleaning companies, employed over 200 people, made her first million, then her second, then her third. She bought a house, a real house with a yard and big windows. She stood in the empty living room and thought about Mama, wished she could see this, wished she could know that her little girl made it. Jin came to the housewarming party, brought champagne and congratulations, but something was different. The way he looked at her, the way she looked at him, something had changed. They'd been friends for years, good friends. He'd been her mentor, her guide, her anchor when the world felt too big. But now it felt like something more. Lila tried to ignore it. They were from different worlds, different cultures, different everything. Rich Korean businessman and poor black girl from the projects. It didn't make sense. But the heart doesn't care about sense, doesn't care about logic. It just feels what it feels. Jin felt it too. The pull, the connection, the way she made him laugh, the way she challenged him, the way she saw through his success to the scared kid underneath. He'd dated other women, rich women, beautiful women, women who made sense on paper, but none of them understood him. None of them saw him, really saw him. Lila saw him, saw past the money and the suits and the perfect life, saw the man who still worried about his parents, who still remembered being hungry, who still felt like an outsider sometimes. One evening, they were working late, planning her next business expansion. The office was quiet, just the two of them and the city lights outside. Jin looked up from the papers, caught her staring. She blushed, looked away, but he didn't. He kept looking, kept seeing. He said her name, soft, like a prayer, like a promise. She looked back, saw everything she was feeling reflected in his eyes. He kissed her, gentle, careful, like she might break, like she might disappear. She kissed him back, fierce, desperate, like she was drowning and he was air. They pulled apart, stared at each other, both knowing everything had changed, both scared of what came next. Jin's family didn't understand. Korean parents with traditional values. They wanted him to marry a Korean girl, someone from their world, someone who fit. Layla's friends didn't understand either. Said she was selling out. Said she was forgetting where she came from. Said rich Korean men don't really love black women. But love doesn't listen to other people. Love doesn't care about expectations. Love just is. They faced it together. The stares, the whispers, the family dinners where she felt like an outsider, the business meetings where people assumed she was his assistant. Layla kept building, kept growing, started a tech company, hired brilliant people, developed apps that helped small businesses succeed, apps that helped people like her find opportunities. The tech company went public, made headlines, made history. Young black woman becomes billionaire, from foster care to Fortune 500, the American dream in action. But the headlines got it wrong. It wasn't about the money. It was about the journey, about the people who believed in her, about the man who saw her potential when she couldn't see it herself. Jin proposed on a Tuesday. No grand gestures, no fancy restaurants. Just the two of them in her first office, where it all began, where she learned to dream big. He said he loved her, not her success, not her money, her. The woman who worked 3 jobs to help other women. The woman who remembered being hungry. The woman who never forgot where she came from. She said yes, through tears, through laughter, through the kind of joy that comes from finding your person, your partner, your home. The wedding was small, intimate. Jin's parents came. They were polite, careful, but they saw how he looked at her, how she looked at him. Love like that is hard to argue with. Lila's foster siblings came. Mrs. Thompson came, the woman who'd raised 12 kids on love and prayers. She cried during the ceremony. Happy tears, proud tears. 5 years later, they had their first child, a daughter, beautiful, perfect, with Jin's eyes and Lila's smile. They named her Hope, for what they'd found in each other. Lila held her daughter and thought about that scared little girl in the foster home, The one who thought she'd never be loved, never be wanted, never be enough. She whispered to Hope, told her about her grandmother, about the woman who worked 3 jobs and never gave up, about the dreams that live on even when we're gone. Jin started a foundation focused on helping foster kids, kids like Lila, kids who needed someone to believe in them, kids who needed a chance. Lila expanded her businesses, opened offices in Korea, brought American opportunities to Korean women, brought Korean innovation to American markets, built bridges between worlds. They traveled together, showed Hope the world, showed her that love comes in all colors, all cultures, all forms, that family isn't about blood, it's about choice. Sometimes late at night, Lila would stand in her daughter's room, watch her sleep. Think about the journey, about the Korean man who saw something in a scared waitress, about the love that changed everything. She'd think about that rainy Thursday night, the night that seemed like an ending, but was really a beginning. The night she learned that heroes come in unexpected packages. Jin would find her there, put his arms around her. They'd stand together in the quiet. 2 people who'd found each other against all odds. 2 people who'd built something beautiful. Their love story wasn't traditional, wasn't expected, wasn't what anyone would have predicted, but it was real. It was true. It was theirs. Today, Lila's companies employ thousands. Her foundation has helped hundreds of foster kids. Her love story has inspired millions. She's proof that where you start doesn't determine where you finish. She's proof that love sees no color, no class, no background. Love just sees the heart, the soul, the person underneath it all. Jin still calls her his miracle. She still calls him her hero. They still look at each other like they can't believe their luck, like they're afraid they'll wake up and it'll all be a dream. But it's not a dream. It's real. It's messy. It's beautiful. It's complicated. It's simple. It's everything love should be. Their daughter is growing up bilingual, bicultural, learning about her Korean heritage and her African American roots, learning that she can be both, that she can be everything. Hope asks about the night Mama and Papa met, about the bad men and the hero, about how love can grow from the scariest moments. Lila tells her the truth, that sometimes your biggest blessing comes disguised as your biggest fear. She tells her that love is worth fighting for, worth waiting for, worth believing in, even when the world says it doesn't make sense, especially then. The little girl who had nothing became the woman who had everything, not because of money, not because of success, because she learned to love, to trust, to hope. Because a Korean man saw her heart on the worst night of her life and chose to save it in every way a heart can be saved. Their story continues, still being written, still full of surprises, still proving that love really can conquer all.
That's the power of love, real love, the kind that sees past everything else, the kind that changes everything, the kind that makes millionaires out of broken hearts and billionaires out of forgotten dreams. Subscribe to hear more stories like this one. Tell us in the comments where you're watching from. And remember, your story isn't over. Your hero might be just around the corner. Your love might be waiting in the most unexpected place. Never give up on love. Never give up on hope. Never give up on the possibility that everything can change with just one person, one moment, one choice to believe in something bigger than yourself. That's how a poor black girl from the projects became a billionaire. That's how a Korean businessman became a hero. That's how 2 hearts found each other in a world full of strangers. And that's how love really works. When you least expect it, when you need it most, when you're brave enough to believe in it.